This is Courage Barbell, and I'm Chad Ikes, your host, or just basically guy who won't shut the hell up. And today I want to talk about bench placement in your actual hands. I finished up a video earlier today, which I will be posting soon, where I talk about wrist flexion extension and where you actually want that at. And I did a little pendulum thing to kind of explain how important it is and why we do that, and I also went over rooting a little bit. The other day on my Instagram, which is, I don't know, Chad-Ikes or some shit, just look up Chad Ikes. I'd appreciate you following that as well, since I brought it up. I posted a picture of this. I think I changed colors because I had to redo it. And I kind of wanted to explain to people where the bar sits in your hand is actually very important. But I didn't know if the picture and the colors really explained it enough, so I wanted to go ahead and take a few minutes to make a video. And so with the colors here, what I'm doing is like with green, that's basically where the bar is going to sit across your hand. With blue, it's going to sit right here. And with red, it's going to sit right here. So that's red, blue, and green. And the idea behind this is, what is the most efficient position to have your hand in? What is going to allow you to hit technique the best? What's going to allow your body to be in the strongest position? What's going to allow you to bench press with the most efficiency? I've always been very against the meathead attitude of, you know, just pound the weight, just pound the weight. No, I want to lift in the safest, most efficient position possible where I can lift the most weight. So I'm always trying to make everything as efficient as possible. Why do I want to be able to bench 315 if my technique will only let me bench 275? Like, I want to be able to bench absolutely as much as my strength will allow me. Now, once I have that, then I can kind of go back to a little bit of meathead mentality of like, listen, everything else is good. We just got to get stronger now. And how are we going to get stronger? We're going to up our nutrition, make sure we're getting everything right. We're going to up our sleep. We're going to pound heavier weight, more weight, and just go. So what this is going to look like, I tried to set this bar up where I could get a good position and show you guys kind of what we're looking at. Ideally, and with rooting your hands, what you want to do is you want to grab this bar, and then you'll see I'm going to twist against my elbows, or my thumbs, I mean. So I'm twisting against my thumbs. And what I'm doing is I'm getting my shoulder blades completely retracted. I'm depressing my shoulders by pulling my lats down. I'm not flaring my lats like a bodybuilder. I'm using my lats to pull my shoulders down as deep as I can. Basically, my friends at Kabuki have taught me, they go pulling your shoulders to your opposite pockets. And I like that. I think that's a great cue. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to twist. And now, as you can see, I'm pretty close to that green line right there. And I'm putting my hands in here. And it's easy to keep my elbows in this way with my hands. And so what happens is I'm twisting against my thumb and then twisting against my pinky here. And then what I'm going to do, I don't really like this whole gripping here, because it's going to end up putting you more on the blue line instead of this right here. But if you squeeze, you're going to get a better contraction, kind of like rooting your feet. So what I like to do is I like to twist as hard as I can. I'll wrap my pinky, maybe my second finger. Then these other two I put right here on the bar and I push. Like I'm trying to dent the bar with my fingers. So that way I still have that tension in there. And a lot of other times when I'm warming up, you'll actually see me bench like this with my fingers open. So what that does is that now allows me to keep in this position right here way easier than if my hands are like this or like this. And I like to use the example when I do dumbbell benching and I don't worry about what position the dumbbells are in, I will naturally go to this position at a 45 and it's really easy to keep my shoulders down and together. It's really easy to get my back, my triceps into the press. Whereas if I'm like this, it makes it harder. You can still do it, but it makes it harder. So that's the green line. The green line for me is ideal to be right here. But yeah, as you can see, that's not that far off of the blue line. So we're not talking about a whole bunch of difference here. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to run from the pinky to the thumb. Right there. Ideally, that's where I want to be. Now, so the blue line, if the blue line is low in the hand, if it's up here, I think you're going to have problems. If it's down here, you're not bad, because, you know, if I grip it here and I'm up high in this one right here, you're gonna have to really pay attention to this wrist, because you're gonna have a really good tendency of going like this and letting a lot of this bend. And if you watch the other video already, we know we want to be in this position. So even if I am going to go just straight across my hand, I want it to be like here across my hand, so that when I'm driving, that bar is directly over the radius and ulna. So ideally, I'm going to put it here and then go like that, as compared to here, where you're going to have a tendency to want to roll it back. Now the red means stop. Okay, and in this case, red means stop too. What red is going like this. And believe it or not, I've seen quite a few people bench like this. And so if I'm here like this and I'm twisted out, how hard is it going to be to turn my elbows in? Like, it's going to be very hard. Even if I twist and I pull my lats down, I can't hardly get my elbows in. But what also happens with this position is you tend to roll into this. Again, where you have this huge bend in there. If it comes across here to here, it's a whole lot easier to keep this bar straight and have that whole straight line right there. So, like all things with strength, there's varying degrees, and as you get into heavier weights, you may not have the same ideal position that you had when you were stronger. I mean, let's face it, anytime we're at maximal weights, it's really hard to get that absolute perfect technique. But that's why we work for perfection with the lighter weights. So even if we do get a little bit out with the heavier weights, we're still really good. Package guy just drove by and left. I shouldn't have any packages coming. That's the problem with shooting videos in your garage with the door open. But I'm sure you guys don't really care. You'll bear with me on this one. So anyway, here, and definitely not here. And ideally, if you watch the other video, you want to be here. So the other thing is let's go. Let me go ahead and hit rooting again a little bit. You know, we want our shoulders depressed and down. So if you think about rooting in the squat, when we root our feet and we pull that arch up, we tend to get our ankles will actually stack straight, kind of like I want you to be straight here. I want this wrist straight. And your knees will kind of get in line. Your glutes, your hamstrings, your hip flexors all naturally flex and get tight. Your knees will end up being exactly where you need them to be just by correct rooting. Well, if I get in here and I think about, hey, I got to root my hands, I got to turn it down, bam, like just by rooting, just by thinking about, okay, I got to twist against that thumb, I got to root that hand in there really hard. You can see how my lats want to depress my shoulders, my shoulder blades come in, and I'm in this really tight position. So I'm twisting like this, and then as I go down, I'm thinking about going, like I literally want to twist that bar up like this, which you're not going to be able to do, but you're getting tighter and tighter and tighter and pulling those lats down and then driving off that back and locking them triceps out. So if you get that root down and you focus on that root and rooting through that whole position, using that eccentric phase to build that IAP and build that pressure within your body, you're going to be able to explode out of that position way better. Okay, I think that's a little better explanation than just my picture. Hopefully it came out right on the video. Green, blue, no. Pretty simple, I think. I actually did this because I had a client I was struggling. As a coach, if they don't understand, it's my fault. I was struggling trying to get the cues and get him to figure out what I meant and understand it. So I actually ended up drawing the lines on his hand so he could kind of see, and I actually draw his on the back of his hand so he could look at it under there and go, oh no, I want to be this way. And it seemed to help. I still have some work with that client, but I'm no quitter. Don't quit on myself. I ain't gonna quit on them. Yeah, I think that covers it. I'll say it again. I kind of hate saying it, but please like this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. If you leave comments, that helps the whole system. If you have other lifters you think that can benefit from some of these things, please turn them onto the channel, share the link with them, follow my Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm actually going to hit a little bit of a bench session. I'm out.